All right, and so why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience before starting to work with me? Today was your third session.
Yes.
I know you had some black mold stuff, some kind of reoccurring headaches, sinus issues.
Yeah. I was always in like 24/7 pain. I had a sinus infection that hadn't left in 4 years. I had constant headaches, TMJ. Um, always felt like there was something in my ears.
Like clogged feeling?
Yeah, like clogged feeling. My arms kind of always hurt. My shoulders hurt. Just pretty much everywhere, but mainly like massive headaches, for sure. Yeah.
And that was, you said, all day, every day, kind of
Yes.
like a 9 out of 10 intensity wise.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried all sorts of stuff for like 4 years. Some of it helped, but I never was able to like really make like huge progress.
Mm-hmm. And just to elaborate, so you lived in a house, 2 houses actually in
Yeah.
a row that had black mold for 6 years. You were in
Yeah.
that environment. And when you say you've tried a lot, you're talking everything. You've seen ENTs, and
Yeah.
tell me some of the other practitioners or things you've tried.
I went to probably like 13 different ENTs. I had a nasal surgery. I went to countless chiropractors thinking, it was a nerve thing. I had like MRIs. I probably did over 40 x-rays.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, did like 8 rounds of antibiotics in like a 1.5 year period, steroids. Couldn't find anybody to prescribe me antifungals. Finally found like a naturopath who was willing to do it. I did EDTA therapy. I did parasite cleanses, heavy metal detoxes, fasting. Yeah, like everything you could think of. I thought could help with that. I tried it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I even went and saw a chiropractor who like sticks a balloon into your nose. It's not just the cranial release technique. He has his like own special technique, and that helped actually quite a bit. At that time, I wanted to like pretty much die. Like I thought it was horrible. Like every day was just horrible, and that actually helped a little bit for sure. Like it helped make things bearable, and saw him about like 4 times, and definitely saw some improvement for sure. But like the root of the problem was still there.
Mm-hmm. And then, what are some of the things that you've noticed that's changed in your body work so far?
Like everything. Sleep is better. My breathing through my nose is better. I couldn't even breathe through like the left side of my nose pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
My headaches have improved.
So would you say that left sinus, like 0% functioning, 10% functioning, what would you say the amount you could air?
I couldn't really, like, if I laid on my back at certain times, like I might be able to breathe through it for like 10 minutes. And then I get back up and it's just completely closed. Yeah.
And what percentage of airflow do you have now, would you say?
Like 60 to 70, and when I'm laying down, it's like almost normal.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Huge difference. And even other aches and pains, right? Like I always just felt like my body was like wired wrong, like it was really constricted in certain areas and stuff. And since she's been doing that, I've been realizing like I don't think I had proper lymph flow through certain areas. Yeah.
And it's feeling better, so all the aches and pains and random twinges and range of motion issues and all of that's getting better.
Oh, massive improvement. I have way better energy levels, digestion, mental clarity. My sleep is way better. I used to wake up like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. I mean, I couldn't really like function like normal people. and stuff.
Are you sleeping through the night now?
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, so when I go to bed, I wake up in the morning. If I do have a young child, so like if they cry or something, I wake up, and before it would, like, I wouldn't be able to fall back asleep. Now, I maybe wake up for like a second and I'm able to fall back asleep. So massive difference.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then just to touch on your experience, because I know you said with all the ENTs and a lot of the other practitioners that you saw, you felt pretty like passed over, ignored. You were asking for specific treatments and they were blatantly ignoring you and refusing to do the things that you knew that you needed.
Yeah, they pretty much tried to convince me I was crazy and that I didn't know what I was talking about. There's multiple occasions where they like gaslit me, and like for example, they did one of the ladies I went and saw, she only did like a gram positive bacteria test in my nasal, and I had specifically told her it was mold. I even had my apartment tested. I showed her the test results to the moldy apartment I was living in. I showed her the research I found on Google that said that aspergillus is like the #1 cause for fungal sinus infections. And she literally just completely ignored all that, didn't do any sort of test for mold or fungus in my sinus at all. She didn't test for negative gram bacteria at all. And then when I brought it up after she said the results were negative for the positive gram thing, she said, well, we saw no signs of mold infection, even though she went in there with a scope and was like, wow, it's really swollen in there. And I had a sinus surgery, and before the sinus surgery, they would do a CAT scan. Like every CAT scan would show that there's inflammation over here. And they're like, oh, it's minimal, it's not that bad. Right.
Meanwhile, you can't breathe.
Meanwhile, I can't breathe, and I'm in like horrible pain. Like, I mean, like debilitating pain 24/7, 7 days a week. Like, the pain doesn't let up. It's like, imagine just having like a bunch of fungus eating away at your flesh inside your sinus and like in your tonsil area and like all into your like nerves and your face. Your face is going numb. Right.
How is the numbness?
It's a lot better.
Awesome.
For sure. And since doing the lymph, I feel that kind of stuff for sure. But when the ENT did the sinus surgery, he's like, oh, you got a lot of polyps and there's a ton that needs to be drained. And it's going to take a long time, which was really weird because it was exactly the opposite of what he originally had told me. He was like, it's not that bad. It's
from his initial exam or whatever.
Yeah, and then when he went in there, he's like, actually, it's pretty bad.
Pretty messed up in there.
It's pretty messed up in there.
Yeah.
And that sinus surgery didn't really help that much. Maybe a little bit, but not that much.
Not being worth surgery.
No, not at all. Yeah.
And then, what was I going to ask you? Oh, how did you feel about the consult? Because you came in, you knew a little bit about lymph, but we covered a lot in the initial talking part of the consult and explaining different connections and how all of those things are connected to the lymphatic system. Did you like learn stuff in that? Did that make your symptoms make sense? Did it resonate?
Absolutely. I felt like I finally had found a solution that made sense, right? Now, I saw so many different doctors, not a single one of them really ever brought up lymph. Through my own research, I'd found out a little bit about it and was like, this sounds like something that could be impacting it, but there wasn't a ton of information about it, and I couldn't find anyone that actually really did it at that time. That was like 2 years ago, actually.
Oh, okay.
And
so it's been in the back of your mind for a minute?
Yeah, and then when I randomly saw the ad for, White Bison, I went in there and he brought it up and he's like, yeah, we have this lymph massage therapist here. She's really good. I was like, I've been looking for this forever, right? So.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you're seeing such huge results already. That's really exciting. And then just to touch on, because you finished your 3rd session.
Yeah.
And there was a pretty big difference today in how gurgly you were. And I know you've been doing some detox vitamins and things. But would you say the amount of gurgles and how deep they were and how long they lasted, like, was that surprising to you?
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot trapped for sure. And it's a really crazy feeling when you feel the lymph trapped in your body and it's like moving. The best way I can describe it, it's like it feels like a wet scab in your body that's just like festering. And so if you try to explain that to like a doctor or somebody like that, they're gonna look at you like you're schizophrenic or something.
Right, like what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I know exactly what that means.
Yeah. And so when you start moving the lymph and stuff, you can feel it start flowing and moving. And it's a really good feeling to get that confirmation that you're like, oh, I wasn't crazy. Like that, like, was a lymphatic blockage, because you could literally feel it moving throughout your whole body
during the session.
Yeah, during the session, and even after too, right? Because as it starts moving more and more, like you become more aware of those sensations. Because I feel like I was kind of trapped, felt kind of stuck, right? Because I was doing all this work, I was doing all this stuff, and I was getting a little bit better, but
right, effort was like 10,000 and results were like 10.
Yeah, like fraction. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Because like I'm literally doing everything that you could possibly think of. And it makes sense now, because if you can't detox in your body, if the lymphatic system's like all clogged up and backed up, doesn't matter how many detoxes and all that stuff you do, because it's still going to be stuck.
Yeah, it's not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
How would you explain the session? Like, do you think it's relaxing? Is it comfortable?
Oh yeah, it's very comfortable. It's very easy. It doesn't hurt at all. Actually feels really good, because when you can feel the lymph moving, it even gives you like goosebumps kind of feelings in the area. You can even feel like areas where it's like trapped and starts moving. It's very relieving, and you'll probably fall asleep too.
So you can fall asleep on the table.
Yeah.
It's relaxing enough or sedating your central nervous system, so stress comes way down. So the session itself is enjoyable, and the results you're seeing pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I felt like I was always stuck in like a constant state of fight or flight. And since doing this, I've been able to relax like a ton more.
That's so awesome. Those are huge results for just 3 sessions, and I'm so stoked for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Abby. You're the best.
Aw, thank you.
Don't even